Hello, my name is Hassan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast shorts. There's no co-host on these shorts episodes. These are now around 2 to 4 minute, sometimes as long as 6 to 10 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 2 to 4 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book your coworker won't stop raving about because it quote-unquote changed their life, but you can't see any difference in their leadership behavior. So how good could that author be? The purpose of a system is what it does. Coined by Stafford Beer, a British business theorist, consultant, and professor at Manchester Business School in a speech he gave in October 2001, this term is popularly used by systems theorists and is generally invoked to counter the notion that the purpose of a system can be read from the intentions of those who design, operate, or promote it. It is an idea that sounds vaguely communitarian, reads as vaguely intelligent, and even sounds vaguely conspiratorial, all at the same time, without exactly directly being any one of those things. This phrase is often intoned by people 25 years later, wanting to sound smart about the level of corruption, incompetence, or general malice we are all observing inside any given system in our world today. It is often intoned when those same people lack the insight, vision, or courage to promote a solution to the problem the system says it's actually solving. The problem with the idea underneath Stafford Beer's assertion is that it absolves the speaker of having to propose a solution to the problems the system creates. It also absolves the speaker of having to accept responsibility and accountability on acting to implement solutions to system-based problems in the real world, where usually there are real-world consequences. You know how you can test if this is true or not? Every time you hear or read or watch a person lamenting the results of a system's operations, propose a solution to those problems that is simple, cuts to the core of the problem, and also that is rational and logical based on the evidence you can see of the problem. And when the other party looks at you and soberly and communitarianly and vaguely intelligently and conspiratorially intones, quote, "the purpose of a system is what it does," you'll know that they are a person who is interested not in solving a problem or in implementing a solution, but instead is a person who is interested only in appearing to be a critical thinker with the ego of advanced knowledge. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast today. And now that you've made it this far, you should subscribe to the audio version of this show on all the major podcast players, including Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and everywhere else where podcasts are available. There's also a video version of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the Leadership Toolbox channel on YouTube. Just search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. And while you're doing that, leave a 5-star review if you like what we're doing here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Just go below the player and hit 5 stars. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to help grow this show. And tell all your friends, of course, in leadership. By the way, if you don't like what we're doing here, well, you can always listen to another leadership show. There are several other good ones out there. At least that's what I've heard. All right. Well, that's it for me.